But the evolution of myself in these 9 months, looking back, is so crazy because last August, September, I went through another really big breakdown where things started to fall away. I had really big crossroad moments. We can call them tests, if you will, but opportunities to respond differently or react differently. And I got to see a lot of where my weak spots still were. And I had to finally face a lot of things that I had been working on, but I hadn't fully turned forward to them.
Hello, my loves. This is Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel, teacher, healer, and author. And I am obsessed with all things metaphysical, esoteric, galactic, and of course, the healing journey. And I'm here to share my stories, my wisdom, and my teachings about being human in the illusion that we call reality. Welcome to Cosmic Blonde.
Hello, my loves. Well, the last 9 months have been an extraordinary adventure for me. 10 months ago, last September of 23, I technically and legally closed my business. I canceled my EIN with the IRS, and I took about a 6-7 week hiatus of just resetting myself. And I knew that my business wasn't ever going to be officially closed, that I would just energetically close it out, rebrand a little bit, get clear on what it was that I wanted to do, and really recenter myself on things that brought me joy and the way that I share with the world, right? With my community, with those who resonate with me. And I have tried to do a podcast a few times. Some of you know I had a podcast with Tanya Lee from Harmonia Tarot called The Breakdown for a couple of years. We had a couple of seasons of that, and that was great. And we both kind of lost our vision in the process of that. I had an idea of what I wanted. She had an idea of what she wanted. And we just both got exhausted because it wasn't like we weren't doing what we wanted to do, right? We were working together and we love each other, but it fizzled out. And that was okay. It was a great way for me to get my feet wet in the podcast world. And then when I started my nomad journey, I attempted to do a podcast too, but I was not in the right space for it. I had just done my ayahuasca ceremony. And if you've ever done ayahuasca, you know that like everything changes after you do ayahuasca. And it takes a while. You need a good 6 months of integration after you do ayahuasca. I'm a firm believer in never not doing multiple ceremonies month after month, because ayahuasca is such an energy of expansion and purification, and you need so much time to integrate afterwards. So it's just never a good time. Once you do ayahuasca, they always say, don't cut your hair, don't move, don't do all these things within the first 6 months. I cut my hair within 2 weeks. I had hair down to my butt and I cut that shit off to my above my shoulders. I was like, and scene. But your hair holds memory, and I was done. But it wasn't the right time. I think I only did like 3 or 4 episodes and it just didn't feel right. So when I ended my business and I took a little break, I really sat with, what do I want to do? And I had been feeling for like 4 or 5 months before I closed my business and before I started this podcast, the need to do it again. But I think at some level I was waiting for a co-host or something to happen, and it just never did. And I realized, this isn't meant to be something that I do with somebody else. It's meant to be mine. It's my baby, my creation. It's what I want to share. It's my journey. It's my experience, because this is what I'm meant to share. I'm a super transparent, honest person. Some say to a fault, because I just lay it all out there, and I'm not a victim to anything that's happened to me. But by me sharing my truth and really like putting myself out there of what I've been through and how I navigated it and what it looks like on the other side, it's a very courageous thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, but it also is something that helps people. And I know it does because people message me all the time to tell me that it helps them. And that, I swear to God, that is more of my love language than anything, is just people sharing me, appreciating me, letting me know that what I'm doing is helping them. It just fills something inside of me. It just makes it all worth it, to put myself out there in the way that I do and vulnerably share. But that's the true strength, right? Vulnerability is our true strength, our ability to let people into the deepest, darkest, most vulnerable parts of ourselves. And this podcast has really allowed me to take that to another level. Writing my book was a really big step in that as well. And like I said, I've always been transparent online, but writing my book took it to another level. And then this podcast has allowed me to take it to another level and really give it a voice, kind of bring it to life. And I'm just so grateful that I have done 34 episodes. I mean, it's crazy, 34 episodes. I feel like this 9 months went by in a blink of an eye. It's insane. But the evolution of myself in these 9 months, looking back, is so crazy because last August, September, I went through another really big breakdown where things started to fall away. I had really big crossroad moments. We can call them tests, if you will, but opportunities to respond differently or react differently. And I got to see a lot of where my weak spots still were. And I had to finally face a lot of things that I had been working on, but I hadn't fully turned forward to them. And this allowed me to do that, and it allowed me to surrender at a deeper level. And then in January, I went through, as you guys know on the podcast, I went through 40 days of rewiring my brain because I'd hit one of those spots, and I finally reached a point where I said, I'm just done with this. Like, we're done. We are done with this. We're done with this. No more. And I dedicated 6 hours a day to rewiring my brain. Hello, Scorpio energy, right? Extremist. That I have so much Scorpio in my chart, that's just a part of my personality, but it worked. And I had a massive ego death, as you guys know. And my life has been on an uphill trajectory ever since. And I have allowed myself to use all of these experiences for the better. And, something that has been made clear over the last couple of years, there was a moment in time where I was in a lot of suffering, and I used to say things like I actually said this for a lot of years. I must have been a really bad person in a past life to have this much suffering, to have this much pain, to have these things happen to me. And with all the good that I do in the world, with all the knowledge I share, with how big my heart is, with what I know and who I know I've been in this time of this life, I feel I deserve better. And of course I do. We all deserve amazing, wonderful things. When everything fell apart at the end of 21 and I began this journey at the beginning of 22, I spent quite a lot of time trying to figure out why this was happening. And about a year in, maybe a little less than that, but around a year in, I'll say, is when I really started to realize that, this is happening for a reason. I'm going through this for a reason. I tend to go through things before the collective does. That has been something that I have evidentially witnessed since my awakening. And whatever I am going through is preparing me for who I'm meant to be. And I also realized more than I ever channeled before, right? Channeling something, knowing something, and experiencing something are two completely different things. This is why I am such a proponent of the action piece, the embodiment piece. You have to make different choices. You have to start to see things differently. You have to respond differently. You can't just learn. You have to put it into play. That I learned that we can't always control the cards that we're dealt. We are co-creators, right? And the reason why I say this is because throughout this journey, so many people have come to me and said, why don't you quit your business and get a job? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And none of it did work. Anytime I tried to fix what I was going through, it didn't work. It didn't work. No matter how hard I tried to course correct, to fix, to make it better, it didn't work. And the themes that the guides constantly brought through for me was surrender. And I used to laugh because I'd be like, I have surrendered. And they would say, no, you haven't. You think that's surrender. That is not surrender. And, surrender is a lot like happiness. It's accepting what is, even if you don't agree with it, and it's making the best of it. It's going, this is what is, and not taking it personal, not making it define you or mean something about you. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It doesn't mean you're not worthy. There's nothing. We are the only ones that attach meaning. We are the only ones that attach meaning to anything because everything just is. And how we perceive it is everything. Because again, like the same theme, I think we're on 3 episodes now where this has come up, but we don't perceive things for what they are. We perceive things through what we are. And I was constantly being shown my not enough wound, my feeling not enough, not worthy. And you can only do that for so long until you're like, okay, dude, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. We're not doing it. And so when I went through that rewiring of the brain, that's what it was. It was like, and scene. This story is fucking over. We are going to hardwire new beliefs into my being. And I did. And things changed. Because I changed, because the way I saw myself changed. And so therefore, how I saw the world changed. Therefore, my reality had to change. And I really started to understand and allow the guides to let me see a higher, wider, more expansive understanding of the law of attraction and manifesting in general, and how we don't need to do all these things, right? It's really about clearing out everything that you're not. And so in order to do that, you really have to go, who do I want to be? What would they feel like? What would that look like? And start to embody that, which will then push on everything that you are not and clear it out so that you can just be in that flow. And that's what I've been doing all of this year. And it's been challenging and amazing. And I'm so glad that I've taken all of you guys along on this journey with me. But the other thing that the guides continuously brought through was that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go through hard times. And I say hard times because people are going to perceive it as hard times. People are going to lose their jobs. People are going to change careers. People are going to leave their jobs. People are going to leave relationships. People are going to become nomadic. People are going to wake up one day and just be like, I'm going to change everything about my life. Because we're going through an unbelievable next level of awakening as the earth shifts into the 5th dimensional frequency. And the more of us are swimming in that frequency, even if you haven't embodied that frequency, that amount of light has no choice but to shine on everything that is dense within the world and within yourself. Again, it's not that shit wasn't there before. It's just you couldn't see it before. So everybody's getting blown open right now. And when we get blown open, It blows open our mind. It expands our awareness, our potential, our understanding of ourselves. And we are oftentimes no longer willing to accept the story that we've been sold. And people are going to need to see people like me who walked away from everything and were okay. And I've been more than okay. It may not look like the most ideal life a lot of the time. And some people think it does. Some people think it's amazing. Everything has its pros and cons, right? But at the end of the day, it comes back down to, do you trust yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Do you have faith in yourself? Because remember, you are an aspect of God. And a lot of people think, oh, I need to have faith in the universe. I need to have faith in God. When honestly, if you don't have faith in yourself, if you don't have faith and belief in yourself, but you do have faith and believe in something outside of you, you're giving your power away. And I said what I said. And there's nothing wrong with believing in something outside of yourself. But if you don't also believe in yourself and have faith in yourself, this is where you're going to get into trouble. This is where you're going to experience the most scarcity. This is where you're going to have the most suffering and the most fear. Because here's the thing, this isn't my first rodeo. I have walked away or lost everything multiple times. And every single time, I have bounced back better than the time before. This time, I needed to take a little bit longer of a journey because there was deeper things I needed to heal. I needed to get deeper and deeper into that root. I needed to really excavate it. And so the thing that the guides have come around to say over the last 6 months, more than ever, is we don't do this to punish you. We do this to prepare you. We do this because it's what's highest and best for you. It's what's going to make you into the person that you need to be for what's about to come to be. And so you can do all the manifesting courses. You can do all the shadow work. You can do all the things. And it may not necessarily change your circumstances. You may not manifest everything that you are desiring through that process. But what it is doing is changing who you are fundamentally internally so that you can feel all the things that you think having the career, the spouse, the house, the money is going to make you feel. You think all of those things are going to bring you joy or stability or freedom. But the truth is those are just feelings, and you can find alternate ways to access those feelings. And once you do, you just don't give two shits anymore in the way that you did before about the things that you once wanted. Do I still have big dreams? Absolutely. Are there things that I still want? Yes. But at the same time, I really honestly could give two shits if any of it happens. I don't, because I have been able to access those feelings more and more without those things. And so I already know. I know I'm going to have all those things and probably more. I already know I'm going to meet the most amazing partner. I already know I'm going to have an amazing career. I already know I'm going to have the home of my dreams. I already know. It's already done. I've already seen it. I have seen that version of me. I understand that having the desire on my heart and having that continuous thought of these things means that it already exists. If I couldn't see it in my mind, if I couldn't feel it as a desire on my heart, if I couldn't visualize it, then it's not for me. But because I can do all of those things, I know that that version of me is alive and well and already thriving. So it's not that I hope it happens. It's not that, oh, I can't wait for it to happen. Bro, it's happening. It's happening. It already happened. It already exists. And as I make my way to that alignment, to that version of me, and preparing to be able to hold that joy, that freedom, that level of wealth, that level of responsibility for the way that I'm going to show up in the world, I needed to do some extra excavating. But in the meantime, I am in such a better space. Do I have moments and bad days and weak moments? Yeah, but you know what? I don't I don't respond to them anymore the way that I did. In fact, just a few days ago, last week, I had a mini ego death that probably could have been a really big ego death. We had a massive, two massive X-class solar flares, and that night, I I found out about the, let me rephrase. I found out about the solar flares the next day, but that the night before, I always feel things a little bit ahead of everybody else. I could feel that shit pushing, and I was up all night. I didn't sleep 1 week, and there was a lot coming up. I was processing a lot, but the difference was I wasn't buying into it. I wasn't getting pulled down, right? Like I say the guides have been saying a lot, like you fall into darkness, you fall into density, but you have to call on the light, right? There's a spiral up and a spiral down. You're either going to fall and spiral down into the hole, or you're going to reach up and pull that shit down. And I kind of just stayed in the middle, and I just felt the density and allowed myself to feel it, all while allowing the light to shine down into it. And it was still challenging, but it wasn't anything like I had gone through before. It's just, it doesn't seem to rock me the way that it did before. And I am so damn proud of how far I have come and what I have been through. And I know what kind of courage and grit and toughness and surrender that it took to get here. And I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to have the most amazing life. And for the first time ever, I'm not in a hurry to get there. I know it's already done. And now I'm just like, what can I do? What can I do? What are the things I've been wanting to do? Like I went paddle boarding, right? I went to this awesome temple and meditation gardens. I'm going camping. I'm doing things that I've been wanting to do. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the moments with the friends that I'm around. And I am making plans, but I'm not attached to those plans. If those plans change, cool. Guess this is what we're doing now. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the level of acceptance that you have to live. It's raining. Yep, it's raining. Like complaining, just complaining and judging and bitching and complaining, it just doesn't get you any far. And even my best friend, Tanya, that, you know, we hold space for each other. Both of us have been like, we don't even want to like, same, like, I don't even need to go into the story anymore. I'm done with this story. I'm done with this old story. There's like, we don't even want to complain anymore. We don't even want to vent anymore because it's useless. It's just fucking useless. It's a waste of my energy. So I just creating this short episode to say I'm so damn grateful for every single one of you who have shared my podcast, who have enjoyed my podcast, who has reached out and told me that it's helped you in some way, shape, or form. You don't understand what that means to me when I receive those messages, when I see people sharing it, when I do that, because that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to share the light. You never know who it may reach, and that may be the life vest that they need. And so I will continue to do this. And I'm so grateful. Again, so grateful for all of you and for allowing this space. And I'm so excited to see where I am by the time the new one airs. So I will be recording episodes in the off season and banking them. So when I start when I start airing them, which I plan to come back, I think we're going to start season 2 mid-September-ish. So that there'll be a few months off, maybe sooner than that, so it's to be determined. But I'm excited to see what happens over the next few months for me. I think this summer is going to be a pivotal shift in my life for the good. No matter what happens, so many amazing things are going on, and it's such an amazing time to be alive. So I hope you guys enjoyed season 1, and continue to share the episodes, continue to let me know how they're affecting you and impacting you. And I hope you guys have an amazing summer, and I will see you in season 2.
Hey, thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by JohannaBurkhardt.com, where it's time to defy the limits of your mind and step into your multidimensional mastery. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. See you next time.